The Axie Infinity team has finally released the official gameplay for Axie Origin, and we got to see some pretty cool teams like the triple tanky Aqua or the Beast with Endless Anger as its main rune. So let's get into those first games. Currently there's a stream going on the Axie Infinity channel that you can check out, and they are testing the Axie Infinity Origin, and if you want to check that out, there's a link down in the description. But if you're watching this video later on, then I will talk through these two games that we have seen, and those are the first official games for Axie Infinity that we get to see. On the right we see a triple aqua team, on the left we see a poison team, which is very fun to play. And the first thing that we get to see is on the right, the triple aqua has giant health advantage, and this is because of the runes as well as the charms. One of the runes that we have talked about, which gives your whole team 75 HP each, that rune I think will get nerfed, as it is pretty OP. It pretty much gives you 225 health in value, right? So if you use all three of them, it's basically like getting a free Axie, right? And the team on the left playing the poison has only about 300 to 400 health, playing the triple poison with the triple green thorn, and we'll see how well they can do. Green Ranger, which is Philip La, looks like he's flexing his Christmas Axie right on the front. You can see that one. And Shade is playing with the triple aqua team. Now, first thing that we want to observe is the energy coin right in the bottom right section. So if your opponent is going first, you will get an energy coin. The energy coin has a retain and it also has a banish, and it basically allows you to be more efficient throughout the game because you didn't get to go first, and going first does have its perks as well. In the top left you can see the UI, which shows you the energy, the discarded cards, the draw pile, as well as something else that I can't actually remember right now in the pot. And this is the spectate mode that is working well. Now, spectator mode seems like it's very hard to build actually, because we have seen games such as Hearthstone and TFT and a bunch of others that haven't successfully built a spectator mode. So I think getting a spectator mode right at the launch will make it easier for tournaments to be hosted, but also for you to learn from your friends. Now, the turn timer is quite high. It's at 90 seconds right now, and they set it to be that high because they wanted to talk about all the different things that you can. Zayori has pulled up the cards from the front lane plant from the poison team, and what you get to see is the blue borders around the cards, right? And if it has a blue border, then it means that it has a charm attached into it. And he's hovered over the Rosa card, and you can see a bunch of different things. It has a poison, it has a sleep, it has an enchanted effect, and you can see the enchanted effect being Axie's max health is +5, so it looks like a very basic rune that's probably costing only 1 potential point. And we see another rune in the bottom left, Tough Strike, which gives you non-multi-hit attacks, card dealing 10 bonus damage. So every single card essentially from this Axie is dealing 10 extra damage, which is really useful for cards like Zigzag or Cactus. So instead of dealing 60, they deal 75, so that's like a 15% attack increase on those cards. And the combo that Shade plays from this triple aqua team seems to be very powerful. First of all, he plays a carrot, which gives you 1 energy if you hit a target that doesn't have any shield. That's exactly what he plays, dealing about 43 damage, I think I saw, and giving himself energy. So he's still sitting on 3 energy. And with the cards that he has, which is Telescope, Koi, Lamb, and Soulstar, he can actually take this reptile down. You can see the Koi hitting for 165. So this Axie is just not in range for the Soulstar, but we see the Lamb coming through from the mid Axie, and then the energy coin gets played, and Soulstar can actually take this reptile off. So you can see how efficiently he used all of his cards, especially the carrot at the start and the 2-cost Koi to deal as much damage as he can, and he literally one-shotted a front lane reptile from Green Ranger in round number 2, which is insane to think about, that those tanky aquas still have the possibility to one-shot something. I mean, they have 600 health, which is like double your starting health, and they still can pull off a one-shot early in the game. And from this point on, Green Ranger pretty much lost the game, as he lost his front lane reptile a little bit too quick. But what I want to point to is the poison mechanic right now. You can see that he played Green Thorns, and he applied plenty of poison to his opponent, 6 stacks on the front lane and 4 stacks on both the mid and the back. And poison doesn't work the same way as it used to in Origin as we know it right now. The poison only it takes at the end of the turn, and it deals 3 damage per poison stack, but 1 poison stack goes away at the end of the turn. So you should see that in just a second. So the front lane Axie has 6 stacks. It will get hit for 18 damage, but the stack number will go down to 5. You can see that in just a second right here. 18, 12 and 12, but all the stacks go down, and the max amount of stacks for one Axie is 30 poison stacks, and apparently from what they have said, it's not that hard to get up to 30. So Green Ranger is only left with 1 Axie. He plays the Small Thrill, adding more poison stacks, and then he decides to play the Green Thorns as well, and you can see 12 poison stacks, 14 poison stacks. That's plenty of stacks, but what you need is to have some sort of a buffer. You need the healing Axie, you need a summon, so that these poison stacks can have some effect. If you die very quickly like he does with his Axies only having 300 health, there's no way that this poison will ever be as useful as it should be, especially when you lose your front lane like that. So poison team a little bit underwhelming, I think, depending what you support it with. If you have low HP Axies, I don't think poison team will be as good. If you have high HP Axies or something like the summon, then maybe a poison team can be pulled off. And last thing that I wanted to point to is the rewards screen. You can see probably all of the rewards will pop up, like the MMR that you get, as well as the SLP, and this is the waiting screen as well. We have seen the ranked number, which was Egg 2, so waiting to see what those ranked system looks like. And the second game that we have is Shade versus Green Ranger yet again, as they have played the BO3. Shade is running an interesting double bird team with an Aqua up front. All Axies actually have double talk, and all of them have Kestrel. No, they have Kingfisher, and 2 of them have Kestrel. So going for those secret abilities, Kingfisher, a very good one. If someone attacks into you, you will reflect 85 damage onto them. So especially going versus low HP Axies like the plants, like the beast, reflecting that damage, especially if they want to play fast into you. Playing a triple Kingfisher team might be something that you want to look at, as it is a 1 energy cost that reflects 85 damage. We see the first summon being played, which is a Trunk. Trunk has a taunt. That little shield above the trunk is a taunt, meaning that this Axie has to be attacked first. There's also a Mavis flying around, which gives you a little bit of extra support. It only has 10 health, as it does decrease health every round, but it gives your team a little bit of support. I'm not sure if it was damage or healing, kind of can't remember. I think Mushroom was healing and Mavis was doing something as well. We see the first Kingfisher being played, and you see the secret flying above the Aqua. That is whenever someone attacks into you, something will trigger, and is in this scenario that is the reflect from the Kingfisher. In turn number 5, we see Green Ranger going into the Fury mode. That's something that we have been waiting for. In Fury mode, what you get is your cards dealing double the damage. So you can see the Shiba being a 2 cost that has 130 written over it. It will actually deal 260 damage or thereabout. Unfortunately, this is a pretty dead card draw, as he cannot use the Sirius and he cannot use the Potato Leaf, meaning that he can't clear the Aqua. I think it was the Kestrel that disabled those cards from the plant, so he has to waste a Shiba, which is a giant overkill, and he's actually going to go for the hero, and then he's going to follow up with the Shiba, making a massive overkill on that Aqua, and then it will go downhill from there, I think. So he goes for the attack, and you can see it's 266 damage, and he also says crit, but it's not actually a crit, right? It's just double the damage that you deal in Fury form. And yet again, we see a couple of charms being attached to these cards. Now, those charms were not shown because bird charms have not been released yet. Also, runes have not been released, so we see the no rune flying about on that bird. And also, one more mechanic that is very interesting and definitely has put a spanner in the works is the Fallen Long Sword. If one of your Axies falls, you will keep getting a couple of randomly generated cards into your deck. It will have something written like the Fallen's Glove, the Fallen's Sword, example that you have just seen on the screen. It will make sure that if you are left in a 1v1, you won't just be drawing the same 4 or 6 cards, you will actually be drawing some more cards that you get from your Axies falling. So if you are waiting to play the triple knot and cycle through your deck as quick as you can, then that will make it a lot more difficult. And so maybe the triple nutcracker not as good as it once was in theory. Now this turn is very interesting. A lot of things are happening. A mushroom has been spawned. We see a trunk being spawned. Mid lane beast is in fury mode. The back lane beast is only on 155 health, and now we see some shield on the bird with a couple of secret debuffs being played, and you can see that this back lane beast has attacked the bird and it triggered the secret debuffs. Now the secret debuffs were reflecting 85 damage from the kingfisher, so it actually killed itself just by attacking. So the new reflectile looks like it's just the birds instead of reptiles right now, and the kestrel is also an equivalent to the graveland, because I think it disarms your cards, and you can see the fallen longsword can no longer be played, and a bunch of other cards from the plant can no longer be played if it has kestrel on it. Now people were also alluding that a beast with this rune and the fury mode will be very OP, but one thing that's not that good is if you have a bad card draw, and this is an exact example that we have right here. Zeal, not that good. The fallen longsword twice, not that good. We also get the Mavis, again pretty bad. So only a Sheba is actually playable from this whole set of cards, and again going for the overkill on that bird. And was that good? Was that good use of rage and fury? Probably not. So you really have to think about whether you can make full use when you enter that fury mode, as you only get it for one turn, and that's it. If you can't draw them cards, if you can't utilize that fury mode as good as you wanted it to, then maybe it will be a little bit wasted, and accumulating all that rage will go to waste with it. And this 1v1 went on for a while as they were taking their time trying to kill each other, but you can see the triple secret on the bird, 120 health, but if the beast ever wants to attack that bird, it will be dead as soon as it does. So the beast had no chance, and that is it. Shade takes the 2-0 win, and we see a new background. If you haven't heard it, and I don't think you have in this video, the music in Battles V2 Origin is actually very nice, very soothing and calm, so I think it will fit nicely to the game. If you guys have any ideas or any thoughts about what you have just seen, which is the official gameplay reveal from Axie Infinity on what Origin will look like, let me know in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel for daily playthrough and content, and I will see you in the next one.